There's several ways to consume and pay for software on AWS. Pay-as-you-go is the most common and the way that most people get introduced to the platform. So they're paying hourly for a metered use of software. That's typically how most people start. But there's quite a few other options, and some folks start that way, or they wait until they mature to a certain point where they want to do things like cost optimization, and that can take the forms of committed use or reserved instances, we call them on AWS, and that's when someone's prepaying for and buying down a discount for their same consumption, but since they're reserving it and paying for it up front, they get a much better price than they would if they're paying by the hour with no commitment. So customers can actually ask for an even steeper discount and a different methodology of committed use, and that's something we call a private offer, where rather than just reserving a single year, for example, and getting an annual discount, they can do a 3-year commitment. That's a private offer because it's not listed on the public marketplace today. And that's the best price, but it requires the most commitment from the customer to give them the steepest discount. Oh, that's a great question. So the market's changing. As we all know, competition is just relentless. So we're seeing things evolve and change. Back in the early days, I'd say almost everyone started pay-as-you-go. And at a certain point when they finished their testing and deployed in production, they got into a steady state and they looked for options for cost optimization. They wanted to go out and reserve some compute and pay for it up front. Some opportunities we're seeing now come to us right up front, look for that option right away. And that's for various reasons. It's competitive. It could be an RFP. Someone could be asked for a best and final price and an offer. So we're seeing the market change, where it's a lot earlier in the sales cycle now where people want the best price right up front and they're willing to make a commitment. And I think some of that's just the changing landscape. Some of it's education by the customers and the partners, where they realize there's an opportunity to save money, so they might as well do it right up front. So I'd say SUSE adds the most value in the AWS use case and business case around business applications for SAP. So that's NetWeaver and that's HANA. And that's where our partnership has primarily been for the last 10 years with AWS. It's around supporting the use case of NetWeaver or HANA being the underlying infrastructure, the Linux distribution. And it's based on primarily our 20-year partnership with SAP, having been a best-in-class partner to SAP, and that we took with us to AWS 10 years ago. That partnership has borne a lot of fruit. The partnership is quite strong. We spend a lot of time together co-innovating and going to market together and understanding where our customers need help. How do we help them go faster? How do we help them optimize cost? And how do we help them improve uptime as they do things like classic transformation, as they move things like HANA from on-premise to the cloud? So you can reach the SUSE team at AWS via our email alias anytime you'd like to ask us a question or ask for help or ask for resources specifically for your project. And that's aws@suse.com. And that will get to the entire team here. And if it's in North America, you'll probably hear from me. If it's from Latin America, you might hear from my colleague Fernando. If it's from in APJ, you might hear from our colleague Sandeep, and so on. So we're all here to support you 24/7 around the world, around the clock. Just ask us for help, and we will help you as best we can.
You've just heard Jim Ash, a North American partner executive for AWS, answer some commonly asked sales questions. Like the video, subscribe to the SUSE channel, and watch the AWS playlist.